Easy Wealth Podcast, where learning about money feels easy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Easy Wealth Podcast, where we talk about money and wealth in a simple way. I'm Emma, and here with me as always is Jack. Jack, quick question, and be honest.
Already nervous.
If you got a surprise $10,000 bonus today, what would you do with it?
Ooh, probably a new car or a holiday.
And what if I told you that answer is exactly why most people never build real wealth?
Seriously?
We'll get into the why in a moment, because it really comes down to one idea, one shift in thinking.
Okay, I'm ready.
The idea comes from a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And the core concept is rich people buy assets, most people buy liabilities. And the scary part is that most people cannot tell the difference.
Okay, but I feel like I know this already. Assets are things you own. Liabilities are debts.
That's what school teaches, but Kiyosaki defines it differently.
Really? How does he define it?
An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out. That's it.
Okay, that sounds different.
When you start looking at your life through that lens, you realize most things people spend their whole lives buying are not assets. They are liabilities.
Oh no.
Let's start with the one that triggers everybody, your house.
My house is obviously an asset.
Is it putting money into your pocket every month?
Well, no. I'm paying a mortgage, insurance. Last month, there was a repair bill.
So money is flowing out.
Yeah?
For most people, their home costs them money every single month. So by this definition, house is liability.
But houses go up in value, though.
Sometimes, yes. Over time, maybe. But while you're living in it, cash is flowing out every month.
Emma, you know, people literally call their house their biggest asset.
I know. Kiyosaki says that is the biggest financial myth of the middle class. Jack, I remember you said you realized your liabilities were way bigger than you thought.
Yeah, that was a confronting evening.
Let me guess. Your mortgage was right at the top of that list.
It was number one.
Now, imagine a rental property where someone else pays your mortgage and more. Money comes in every month. Same physical thing, a house, but completely different cash flow.
So it's not what you buy, it's whether money flows toward you or away from you.
That's the whole thing. Now, your car.
Also a liability. I already know. The moment I drove it off the lot, it lost value. Then there is fuel, insurance, maintenance.
Unless
Unless I use it to make money, like delivery driver, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Context matters. But for most of us, the car is a pure liability. And now, the really sneaky one.
Sneaky how?
The latest phone, designer clothes, an expensive watch, a holiday on a credit card, things that make people feel rich while quietly making them poorer.
That is uncomfortable.
Because it's true. A lot of people look wealthy, but financially, they're drowning.
So this is the trap. Work hard, earn more, spend more, repeat forever.
Exactly. Kiyosaki calls this the rat race. You keep running, but financially, you don't actually go anywhere.
That is painfully accurate.
And here's the big difference. Rich people usually buy assets first. Then later, the assets pay for the luxuries. But most people do it backwards.
Oh, yes, that's completely different. Okay, so what actually counts as an asset then?
Great question. Let's make this practical. First, stocks and index funds. You invest money into companies. Those companies grow. Some pay dividends. Your investment grows over time. Your money starts working for you.
So it's like hiring tiny employees working while you sleep.
I love that image. Yes, exactly that.
Okay, what else?
Rental property. If the rent coming in is higher than the mortgage going out, the difference becomes your income.
That's genuinely the dream. What else?
A business is another one. Even a small business, an online store, a course you create once and sell many times, a skill you can monetize, something that keeps generating income, even when you're not actively working.
Oh, yes. Passive income.
Exactly. An asset keeps working, even when you don't.
Wait, so even learning a valuable skill can be an asset?
Absolutely. If learning something increases your future income or opportunities, that's an asset. Your knowledge might actually become one of the highest return investments you ever make.
Okay, so technically, this podcast is an asset.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Because every episode, you learn something that earns or protects money. That's a return.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so here's what's hitting me. Most people, including me, honestly, spend money trying to look successful instead of actually building wealth.
Sadly, yes. You can earn good money, feel comfortable month to month, but then 10 years pass, and financially, you haven't actually moved very far. Because income alone doesn't build wealth. What matters is what happens to your money after you earn it.
That line is strong. Where the money goes matters more than how much comes in.
Yes, and I really want people listening to feel this part. 2 people, same salary, $4,000 a month, 10 years.
Okay.
Person A spends whatever's left after bills. Nice dinners, new phone every 2 years, financed car, lifestyle upgrades. Looks comfortable. Feels comfortable.
That's most people.
Person B, same salary, but automatically puts $300 every month into an index fund. Doesn't touch it.
Just $300?
Yes. After 10 years, assuming an average annual return of around 8%, Person B has roughly $55,000. Still invested, still compounding.
From just $300 a month. That's really crazy.
Person A, maybe no savings. Same job, same salary. 10 years later, financially almost exactly where they started.
That's actually kind of terrifying.
Because it was never about how much you earn. It's about whether your money is building something or just passing through your account. And that's the shift. Before buying something, you start asking, is this an asset or a liability? Not to never enjoy life, but to choose consciously.
Whew, that line feels good. Feed the assets first.
That's the whole game.
Okay, so someone listening right now is probably thinking, that all sounds great, but I have bills, I have debt. Where do I even start?
The same place everyone starts. Small, real, simple. First, audit your spending. Look at every expense and ask, is this putting money into my pocket or taking it out? Not to feel guilty, just to see clearly.
And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Exactly. Second, start investing automatically. Even £50 a month into an index fund. My very first investment was only around $50. The point isn't being perfect. The point is starting.
Once you start, you learn so much.
But I want to be honest here because glossing over this would be irresponsible. Markets drop, sometimes sharply. No investment is 100% guaranteed.
Right, because I think some people hear index fund and imagine smooth growth upward forever.
Nope. In 2020, markets crashed over 30% within weeks. In 2008, the S&P 500 fell almost 57%. People watched their accounts shrink fast.
That sounds horrifying.
It is, in the moment. But here's what the data shows. After every single one of those crashes, the market recovered and then continued higher. After 2020, it recovered within 8 months. After 2008, it took around 6 years. But it recovered.
So the real question is, can you leave it alone long enough?
Exactly. That's why investing should be long-term money, not next year's rent, not your emergency fund. Money you genuinely won't need for 10 or 20 years. The longer the hill, the bigger the snowball.
So when markets crash, the snowball just hit a bump?
Exactly. And if the hill is long enough, it keeps rolling. Time in the market, not timing the market. Very different things.
Okay, what else?
Third, when you get a pay rise or a bonus, increase your investments before you upgrade your lifestyle. Remember the 50-50 rule from episode 3? Split the increase. Half to your future, half to enjoy now.
Oh yes, lifestyle inflation really is the quietest wealth killer.
Wealth killer. I like this term. You earn more, you spend more. Everything around you scales up, and somehow it still feels tight.
Okay, last tip?
Start thinking like an investor, not just a consumer. Before buying something expensive, pause. Ask yourself, is this an asset or a liability? Not to stop yourself buying things, just to choose consciously.
I think that one pause alone changes something.
It really does, because most people spend money on autopilot, and the pause interrupts the autopilot.
Okay, real talk for a second. Before this episode, I genuinely believed my house was an asset.
And now?
Now I'm looking back at the last 5 years and realizing most of what I spent money on were liabilities. Things that cost me more money, things that lose value, and somehow I kept calling it living well.
Jack, this isn't about guilt. It's about changing the order, starting now.
Feed the assets first.
And then let the assets pay for the life.
That feels like real wealth.
It is. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Assets puts money into your pocket. Liabilities takes money out.
Rich people buy assets first. The assets generate income. Then that income pays for the life.
And you do not need to start big. The snowball doesn't care how small it started. It only cares how long the hill is.
So, this week, one action. Look at one thing you are planning to buy. Ask honestly, could I buy an asset instead? Even $50 into an index fund.
Because every asset you buy is basically a tiny employee working for you.
And the more employees you hire, the less you have to do yourself.
That's not a dream. That's just math.
That's a wrap on episode 8. If this episode changed the way you think about money, share it with one person who needs to hear it.
And leave us a comment. What's the first asset you want to build? We read every single one.
Quick reminder before we go. Everything we share on this podcast is for educational purposes only. We're not licensed financial advisors, and nothing here should be taken as financial advice. Before making any investment decisions, please do your own research and speak with a qualified professional. We're just here to learn together.
See you next week. Bye.